Hello, this is Paul again, and I'd like to welcome you to part two on learning about the principles of backing up your data. In this portion, we are going to go through a suggested way to how to use your disk and be able to have the maximum results of your purpose while using the least amount of disk possible. As you know, your data is very important. Many people are doing their taxes online now. That's making the use of the computer, and that data required by law is to be stored for up to 10 years. In case of any kind of an audit, that data would be available. Now, it don't have to be active on your hard drive, but it should be backed up on your system that it can be recalled anytime you want it. In this section, we are going to not only save that kind of data, but any data that you're working with, any project, to be able to have it stored and not have to be redone in the case of a disaster on your computer. And it's not always a disaster, but when you get a new computer, you want to back up that same data and bring it into the new system. So with that, we're going to get into what it is meaning to be able to have the least amount of disk and get the maximum protection with a good backup program. Now, once we have our disks selected and they're all formatted, ready to go, we're ready for a backup procedure. And what is going to take place is I recommend using a rewritable disk for this procedure unless they are going to be used for a specific backup. For example, if you back up your pictures or your music, they're not going to be altered or changed. So you might have one separate set of backup data for those files and set them aside. At that time, you would be able to restore those files anytime or anywhere you want. You might want to use them on older machines, whereas the data that you back up otherwise will also be only used on the newer machines. So that's a decision to make. I've laid out here that we have 4 standard weeks, Monday through Sunday, figuring that this is an operation that is going on for 7 days a week. It could be any kind of service oriented or business that is not shut down over the weekend because of the market. So the first thing we're going to do is have our first set of slides to use, and we're going to take one set of disk and put it on Monday. After we do that, the next day on Tuesday, we're going to take another fresh set of disk and do it on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we are going to go ahead and do a third set of disk and do that on Wednesday. Now, the reason we do this is because if we use the same set of disk over and over, there could be things that go wrong while a program is running unattended. So that is why we use a second set of disk. Now the second set of disk is very not as likely that something's going to go wrong 2 days in a row. So, but it can happen. So for that reason, we use a fresh set of disk for day number 3. Now, after doing 3 separate disks, it is very unlikely that something is going to go wrong and you're not going to be covered. Let's say day number 3 your system messes up, the electricity goes out or something like that. That prevents a good clean saving of your data. Well, you got set number 2 to go back on, and the only data that you have missing on that is 1 day. Now, let's say for some strange reason you checked out number 2 and number 3, that they were both damaged in the process, so then you're able to go back to number 1 and have only 2 days of data missing. For all 3 of them to be bad, it is very unlikely. I haven't heard of it happening 3 days in a row. So it is a safe thing to realize that 3 separate sets can be used. Now, when you go to the next day for Thursday, you will also take set number 1 and rewrite that set and have it fresh from Thursday. Likewise, when you do Friday, you will do the same thing with set number 2. Now, one more time, we're going to go to Saturday and rewrite that data so that we have the progression of 3 days being current. Anything that goes wrong, it will fall back only 1 or 2 days at the most. Now, Sunday becomes a very special day. It's the end of the week. So then at that time, we will break our rhythm by using disk number 4. We will set that aside and keep it on storage that will not return to the computer unless it is absolutely necessary. Now, this disk will not be used, but used only once a month. So we go to the next week and we do the same thing, and on Sunday we use disk number 5. Now, that is also repeated on the following week, and we use disk number 6. Now, if you're using disks that are only read once, write once, read many times, then you will be using a fresh set of disks every day. However, doing this procedure, you're only using 6 disks so far. However, you will use number 7 on the final week. Now, there is a little bit of special activity with number 7. As you know, with a business, you have quarter reports, you've got taxation to hand in and be able to make those reports, and that is updated every month and is used for quarter reports. So when you go to the next month, you're going to go through the same procedure and you're going to use the same order of disk going through. Now take notice that the 4, 5, and 6 gets rewritten, and 7 will only be rewritten for 3 times for 1 quarter. With that, we proceed to the next, at the end of the year, you're going to have disk number 8 when you have the second quarter, and likewise for the third quarter, you're going to go at the end of the year and you're going to have 10 disks out of the whole year instead of using 365 disks, and your data is safe. If you use this rhythm and be able to continue to save your data, should a disaster come to your computer, should you have to get a new computer and have it completely replaced, you will have all of the pertinent data replaced and back in operation very quickly. This is Paul Jones. I hope this has been helpful to help you understand some procedures that are common to backing up your data and be prepared for whatever disaster should come to your computer.